Hey.
Hey,
Hi.
we got a guest star today.
Who's the guest star?
This is Kiki.
Hi, Kiki.
She, is here today because I should let my husband work every once in a while.
Oh, that's kind of you.
Yeah. And I thought she would, hang out with your wife and kids.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope.
Not today.
Not today. All right, pandemic baby. Yeah, that's a microphone. So we're going to go and we're going to try not to let her distract us.
Yeah. So welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. We are trying to get in 25 episodes before Christmas, but that sure didn't happen.
What are we at, 23?
This is episode number...
What are you looking at?
The counter that I'll put up there in the edit of the video. But it sure isn't there right now, and I forgot what number we're at.
24, I thought. 23 or 24?
23.
She thinks it's funny.
She thinks it's funny.
That's right.
Also, there's a big old video screen up here, so she's kind of watching us live. But we should be looking at the camera.
Oh, yeah. That's so weird.
That's weird, right?
Anyways.
So my name's Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the Village of Mundelein, and this is Kiki, and she's also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein.
We voted her in.
In training.
She's elected. She's got something in her hair.
And this is Kara.
I'm Kiki's mom.
Kiki's mom.
But I'm also a trustee, I guess.
Yeah. One's full-time, one's part-time.
Not sure which is which.
Yeah, sometimes. Quick disclaimer, there's no taxpayer dollars in the creation or distribution of the podcast. This is my house, cameras, microphone. There's other kids upstairs, bird, cats. I think there's a kid putting away dishes in the kitchen right above us.
There's so much banging going on.
I
I'm
think they're
what is happening?
Going up on a chair and then jumping down. So it's a little crazy around here this morning. You know, 'tis the season.
'Tis the season for
craziness. Yeah.
It's fine.
Right.
The cat is, so Kiki's asking for the cat. She likes your cat.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He ran away.
She's afraid of your bird, which is why she's really down here, because
aren't we
she's
all?
afraid of me too. That bird is terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah. Okay, so kicking off,
it was a little busy night last night.
It was a busy night. We had a committee of the whole, and I'm just going to talk about this real quick. It's similar.
I might expound on this. Go on.
Yeah, it's similar to a presentation that we've had before about TIF funds and how to get developers interested in land and how to use TIF funds and what kind of financing is available using the TIF funds.
But it was broader than that too.
It was. We had some case studies.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, buddy. What I thought was really interesting is that we are myopic in our approach to how we fund things.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because there hasn't, I don't even to say this out loud, but there hasn't been a ton of development. So we've just basically relied on only using the TIF and that's it. And there hasn't been creative financing done.
And not all of our projects have been TIF projects.
Right. So what I really felt showing how other communities do it was enlightening. And I don't know if you've ever gotten this question, but I have, is why don't we have anything like Melody Farms? Mm-hmm. And my response is because the Village of Vernon Hills, I feel like the number is 24 million sticks out to me or something. It's a large number. A huge number. Basically subsidize that. And Mundelein's appetite is to not do that. And so I always ask people, I'm like, well, you could probably get a development like that or something cool and similar, but you'd have to be willing to subsidize it. And right now we aren't.
Not there.
We haven't been, right? So that I felt was really, really enlightening to learn that. They highlighted Elmhurst, Mount Prospect, and Roselle in their examples, but down the street we have it. And if you look into it, there was a ton.
And they did touch on that.
Yeah, there was Amanda did. There was a ton of village funding that went towards Melody Farm. Yeah, Melody Farm. So, I really want to make sure that the residents realize what we talked about last night was hypotheticals. Daddy, he's at home. Hypotheticals and not anything in the works or in concrete plans.
Sure. And we did hear that from staff that there has been developers interested, but we don't have a developer that's interested enough for the board to appoint negotiating team members to sit down and start discussions for board presentations, none of that. So when we say yes, there's been interest, that could literally just be a phone call.
Yeah.
Or hey, tell me more about what's available.
Or what you're envisioning for it or anything. Yeah.
Right.
It's a broad statement. Sorry, she's got something in her hair. It's driving me nuts. Welcome to being a mom.
Right.
I just. And we kind of went down the line of what's our appetite for this, and I wasn't super comfortable answering that because it's too pie in the sky for me still.
Sure.
So it was just nothing is reality. So
Right.
I didn't feel like Daddy's at home. Super comfortable like answering what it was.
And I did, just because I know from my appetite
Yeah.
is I don't want to play with taxpayer loans, where taxpayers are funding loans for development when the risk should be borne upon
The
the
developer. And that's like what capitalism is, right? Like
That's
yeah, like that's where that's a whole political ideology of how much government should be involved.
correct.
And we've done some things in the past. I'll give you an example of Cardinal Square,
Sure.
where we funded the infrastructure improvements on Anthony.
But it's always been the village's position that that's ours anyways.
Right.
So-
right. And who's gonna benefit from it? So it just was it was just a way to kind of like
Right.
conceptualize all of the options that are out there for funding development.
Yeah. Right.
End of rant.
Okay.
That's what Kiki says too. End of rant.
End of rant.
Do you hear mommy rant so much? Mommy, yeah.
Yep.
Can you say yeah?
Awesome.
What do you think about taxpayer funded development? No.
Okay. There you have it.
Final. We should send that to staff right now. No. Can you say no? There you go. Done. Moving
Done.
on.
Moving on.
So that was it. It was like, what was it? Probably 45 minutes? We had 7 minutes, so it was longer than that. It was 50 minutes.
Yeah, it was 50 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so that was it.
All right. On to the board meeting.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the village board meeting started at 7. All the trustees were present. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, approval of minutes. During public commentary, we heard from 5 individuals. All of them spoke about Thornton's. The variances were up for final approval last night.
Yeah, so, but they weren't, like, they'd already been, you've already given staff permission to craft them. So, like, last night was to me a formality, which is why it was, I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but we can talk about it now or later.
Sure. I mean, I was just going to point out that, this time the individuals were asking that the village change the hours to not be 24 hours.
Right, and that was my issue last time
Yep.
with them, and I lost. Right, so then
Sure.
I feel like when we were in elected official training, like, it became the will of the board. So
Yep.
then you just are part of a board. We had our discussion and debate the last time, and I lost, and it wasn't there, and it was overruled, and so now it became the will of the board, and that's why I voted in concurrence with it, because it was already up for debate. I debated it and failed.
Sure.
That's really all it is.
And I did follow up with
Yeah, those were really good points.
yeah, exactly.
Can you say those were really good points? Yeah.
So I did follow up and ask the attorney about the hours and what it would take to change that, because even though we were being asked to do that last night, it's not something that we could have done.
And it wouldn't have affected Thornton's, I don't believe, right?
And that's what I was trying to get out of Kelly.
Yeah.
And I kind of got yes and no.
Right. Fair.
And
Like an attorney would.
like an attorney would, right? And the takeaway is it still has to go through planning and zoning.
Yeah.
That
So
it's not something that we can just do on the fly. We can't just, decree things at a moment's notice in the boardroom. One, we would have to put it through planning and zoning. We'd have to go through all the due process and the steps that any other
but
petition.
in the meantime, couldn't have Thornton's just pulled a building permit and built?
Yeah.
So they would have built to the current standards.
Correct. So yeah, it's not something that we could have decreed and made a thing.
Not
if
that
you
much
will.
power. Not that
Correct.
much power.
Right. And due process is
It's a thing.
a thing
Yeah.
that
Rightfully
we have
so.
to follow.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on from public commentary, no presentations or awards to public hearings. Under the mayor's report, there was a lot of stuff last night.
Yeah.
So we had some changeover in the Economic Development Commission. Larry Gallus resigned as the chair.
Yep.
And so we
I
had
think he's just kind of like stepping back from everything, because he was talking last
Yeah.
night to Kirsten about he's on his HOA.
oh,
And he was like, there's a meeting next week for that, and I'm resigning from that as well. So I think,
he's just kind of
take
Yeah.
a step back.
got it.
I hope this doesn't pick up on here, her like touching the microphone.
Oh, it will.
Well, I apologize to anyone that watches this or listens to this.
Or listens.
Russ. My mom, your mom.
Yep, exactly. So we had a mayoral proclamation honoring Larry Gallus, and then we had an appointment of Michael Decker as the new chairperson. And having worked with him in the past, I look forward to working with him again. He's
Solid,
pretty
savvy.
solid. Yeah. Beautification Committee. That's you.
Yay! So we appointed our 3 members last night. There was a lot of applications in this, and so me and Trustee Ross kind of weeded through the separately the applications and picked who we felt were most qualified or showed most interest. And there will also be 2 people, one from the Arts Committee, which will be Chris Woodard. Woodward. I don't know how you say that. Sorry,
Chris.
And then somebody from PZC, I believe.
Okay.
So I feel like, is that right?
Whoa.
Or is it economic development?
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's PZC.
I'd have to ask one of the trustees that's on the committee.
Shut up. Leave me alone. Oh, anyways, fail. So there will be 5 members total, and then Trustee Ross and I. I'm so excited. So this will not only oversee the American Bloom process, but hopefully other projects. And like my long-term goal for this is to turn into a kind of a sustainability committee as well. This is something that I've been working on like behind the scenes for 2 years. I sat in our former village administrator's office and said, we need this. And he was like, hummed and hawed, and how do you want to go about it? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we need it. And then blah, blah, blah. Exactly. And then when American Bloom came up, it really became a need. So, this will be good. We already submitted our proposal for the American Bloom grant for next year. Yeah, I agree. What do you have to say about that? But this will be involved in the following year. So
Awesome.
I'm pumped.
I do have to point out she's literally reading the news over there.
No, she's playing a game. She's just on my phone. She doesn't even know what it is.
I know, but it looked like she was reading the news, and I was like, wow.
She is up to date, and she doesn't know how to read. 18 months?
18 months,
you
got it going on.
Right? You know how to read? Say yes?
Yeah, got it.
Good job. We're going to Harvard for sure.
So then we had a mayoral proclamation honoring Jerry Hemmerling for his 38 years of service to the village in fleet maintenance.
Yep.
And it was kind of impressive. Whoa.
This is going well, guys. This is going well. I really thought that she would hang out upstairs with Amber and her kids, but no such luck.
No such luck.
So, 'tis life.
That's it.
This will probably be our best watch podcast ever.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Probably.
Yeah.
You're cute.
And then there was a mayoral proclamation for the St. Mary's of the Lake, for the seminary, for recognizing 100 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure you do because you know everything about the line. But that place is like nationally renowned.
Oh, I know.
I have a friend, and she was coming to like visit me before the wedding, and her dad was like, "Oh, can you drive through the seminary there and take some pictures for me?" And like they live in Georgia.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a draw to the Catholic Church. But
Okay, so because I'm a nerd and I have a Google News alert set up for the word Mundelein, I see a lot of news articles from different organizations that are talking about different individuals that have gone through Mundelein Seminary. So it's constantly out there as individuals go through the seminary. It's pretty neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, side note, it's just like super beautiful back there.
Oh, it is. It's gorgeous. And then we had a resolution canceling the last board meeting of the year on December 27th. And I always kind of hate this one because I think it's our job. Like, we should be there, right? On the flip side of it, there's not a lot that goes on.
Also, making staff be there, like, come
Right.
on, it's 2 days after Christmas.
You know, if anybody's worked in a business environment, you know that that
The
nothing.
the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, the week between Christmas and New Year's, like nobody's in the
Unless
office.
you're in sales and you're trying to hit your end of your goals.
Correct.
You know,
You know, there's not a lot going on, and expecting staff to be there. There's
fair.
right. So it just kind of, in fairness to them, it makes sense. 2 years ago, I fought on this one, and we actually ended up splitting the vote.
And the mayor broke the tie.
The mayor broke the tie about canceling a board meeting, and the only reason was because we had cannabis.
Cannabis was on the
issues.
agenda, and we had to get that done.
Right.
Yeah.
That
I don't know if you noticed that we canceled that board meeting
way early.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this one we waited till the last possible chance,
Right.
and we know that there's nothing else coming up that's urgent or
Yes.
pressing that has to be done by the end of the year. Where in that one
There was.
there was.
Yeah.
So
It was
a little different.
I think seeing it on a case by case basis is important too.
yeah,
You know, like,
absolutely,
so, anyways.
absolutely. Which is why we schedule the meeting and then cancel it at the last minute if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So under trustee reports was the Park Street area user fee. And so this is, it's an interesting, we talked about this a couple of months ago
And ended up tabling it because I felt like it wasn't
ready yet.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, staff went back and looked at a whole bunch of different ways that other municipalities,
Tons, like all over the country.
all over the country, some local, some far away,
Yeah.
and how different municipalities license
Their outdoor
this
space,
outdoor space,
this
right?
public-private partnership.
And so what they came back to us with was a licensing fee of an amount and then a square footage allotment. And what's interesting about this is not only is there the 3 restaurants on Park Street, or 3 businesses, I should say, one's a coffee shop, and they benefit, tremendously from this. There's also been other interest from
Other
area businesses. Is she on a call?
She's on a call.
No, really, is she? I thought I saw the button light up.
Oh, maybe. Yep, she definitely is.
Yep, got it. So,
Kiara.
so we.
I know, wouldn't it be funny if she called the village during that? Gunther's just
call Gunther.
Kara, it's your daughter.
Yeah.
No, she's back on a call.
Now she's back on
But
a call.
there's no one. I hope
Got
not.
it. She's handling business. So this is a way the village is carving out some space in the areas for the businesses, but also an extra space to have food trucks or other
vendors,
businesses
which is what the vision was, right?
Right. It's not just for those 3 businesses, and
It's a community gathering spot, and
be
that's
fair-
why we acquired that piece of land, and that's why there's improvements going on, and et cetera, because the 3 businesses and COVID were the start of this, but it was just it was just the start of it, right? Yeah. So this will grow into a gathering spot, and that's the hope. You got to start somewhere.
to be fair, we did hear from a lot of people that were upset that it looked like we were favoring 3 businesses.
Oh yeah.
And this is a way to make it more fair to other businesses to be able to participate in that spot as well.
How do you feel? She's like, whatever it takes that I can go to area and eat Holcomb Hollow muffins, I will do.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty much.
Mommy.
Right there with you.
This is Santa. I know, it's crazy.
Okay, next up was a business incentive grant approval for Bill's Pizza and Pub.
Holy guacamole.
These plans look amazing.
Holy cow.
It's going to be a ginormous patio.
Ginormous.
Yeah.
'Tis the season to use the word ginormous.
Ginormous, humongous.
Per Buddy the Elf. It's ginormous. Sorry.
I guess
You don't watch... What? You've never seen Elf?
maybe a long time ago. Is that the Will Ferrell one?
What's wrong with you? My opinion of you has completely changed.
That's not surprising.
Isn't Elf great? It's like the greatest Christmas movie ever.
No, Die Hard's the greatest Christmas movie ever.
Yeah, tell Trusty Swing. No. Say no. Where's the meow meow? I don't know where the cat is. Anyways.
So yeah, we passed the business incentive grant for interior and exterior improvements. Lots going on.
This is what is it?
at
10%,
Bill's.
Yeah, 10% of what they're doing.
Yeah, so I think the number was
$500,000 worth of
no
investment?
$699,
Oh my god.
$599,
big
$599,000,
number.
$699,000, and we're participating at $50,000.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of investment going on in the community over at Bill's, which is amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm floored by that number. It's big.
Yeah.
So,
Next
for-
up was
good for
Public
her.
Works. We awarded some Diamond Lake shoreline stabilization, which
Praise.
we've been talking about for a long time.
This is kind of another one of my things.
Yes.
So it's getting done. I'm so happy. Yeah, things.
So this is the park that's on Diamond Lake that the village owns, and we are
Can we not
taking
use the word park? It's like
the
a parcel
land.
of land. Thank you.
it's that green space,
Thank you. Open space.
the open space
prefer
that
to.
the village owns, right by Bill's,
Ah,
and
timely.
yeah, exactly. And this is to ensure that the water's not eroding away the land, or protecting the
You always
investment.
use- yeah, I was about to say. Trustee Swank uses the phrase "protecting the investment."
Yep.
So there you go.
So we're moving forward with that.
There's also some other improvements that maybe we'll be able to do next year as a result of American Bloom. So
Right.
this all ties in together.
And the speed of government is slow.
Much to my frustration.
Right. If you come from business, you're like, okay, make a decision, let's move.
Yeah,
And then
seriously.
government is ginormous and cumbersome, and
Even at this level.
that's good though, because we're using tax dollars, and we should be really
God.
cognizant of that.
Ooh, that's a good word. Cognizant's a good word.
Cognizant,
I
yeah.
use that word.
Okay, next up was me, Finance Committee. So we did the property tax levy ordinance and the abatement. So those were 2 motions there. So we talked about the property tax ordinance at a past meeting.
Yep.
We set the amounts, all of that, and then this is just passing
Probably
that
highlight
ordinance.
what's happening. The average tax bill
Should decrease by
the village portion.
portion
caveat
by about
that.
$10. But I've seen other taxing bodies saying the same thing. So we
Oh.
may actually see
A reduction.
decent reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh. No, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You want that. I mean,
Yeah.
other municipalities around the area are definitely seeing some large increases.
So yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Whoa.
Welcome to being a mom. Whatever. This is in my lap now, so Kiki and I, who knows if you can hear it, but
Yeah. I don't know.
this is kind of a chaotic one just because I have an 18-month-old in my lap.
Hey, that's how it goes. And I think at the beginning of this entire series, we talked about
We're just people.
We're just people.
Living our life.
Yeah.
I'm a mom that I have
Right.
to like be a mom. Too.
Yeah.
Especially this one.
So next up was the governing body bill approval. We paid bills totaling $2,265,459.
Why do you spend so much money? Just kidding.
Well, so I said last night a large portion was hello. A large portion was insurance, and that's somewhat true. There was some decent insurance premiums in there, but a large portion of it was the Western Slopes.
Finally getting it done.
Yep,
Paying it
and
off.
paying the last. I'm hoping the last of it, and we'll actually get to that. It was like 900,000 that was going to Western Slopes.
Already budgeted though.
Yep.
So it's just paying
Yep,
it out.
exactly.
Nothing crazy.
Public safety, go.
That's me.
Intergovernmental agreement for Coast.
So Coast, Chief Monahan spoke a little bit about it, but he's probably more humble than he should be regarding this because this is pretty revolutionary.
So COAST stands for Crisis Outreach and Support Team Pilot Program.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So I had to look it up because I have to remember. It's a combination of Lincolnshire, Libertyville, Lake Forest, Lake County
Vernon Hills, Sheriff.
Sheriff,
Yeah.
us.
Is Vernon Hills in there? Libertyville.
Libertyville.
There were seven departments.
Mundelein, so I'm missing someone. Destroy my life. Maybe Vernon Hills. Anyways, these 6 police departments will participate in this program, allowing them to share an officer and to share like a social worker that will respond in the field
Yep.
if needed to
If
calls.
needed.
So
And
to
follow
mental
up
health
on-
crisis calls. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So when I was talking to the chief yesterday about it, I said, well, how do you distinguish what is a mental health crisis call? Like, how do you do that? And he's like, well, that's kind of why we have this program, to distinguish, like, where it's needed. He said that sometimes statistics can show that 70% of crime is a result of mental health. So
Sure.
this will hopefully help that. And, you brought up the point, like, eventually will this be able to cut down on, like, our officer hours needed because you're responding with mental health, getting them the help they need rather than,
Right.
like, just an officer, and then you have like kind of a repeat offender type of situation. So it starts at the end of January, and we'll see how it goes. It's a pilot program that we're involved
Yep.
in, and it definitely is like revolutionary to policing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a cool thing to be involved in. I think Mundelein Police Department in the last probably 10 years has kind of led the charge in terms of mental health. We've had a social worker on staff before that's funded by a grant.
Yep.
Our former police chief launched his Way Out program. I mean, these are things that are
Mental
innovative.
health for our own officers.
Mental health for our own officers.
Yeah.
These are things that are needed in the police industry. Industry, is that the right word? I don't know. Police world? Whatever the term is.
Yep. Policing.
Policing. There we go. And Mundelein is sort of like at the front of the line for it.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a testament to kind of like, oh my God, I hope he never hears this, but to Eric Gunther's like leadership in the department. So
Right.
anyways, so yeah, that was passed last night. Chief Monahan talked about it, and then the other one was
The Victims of Crime Act.
it's just like allows them to get compensation if they're a victim of crime, I believe, right?
Right. From the state.
From the state, yeah. So
Yep.
and then, unbelievable, Trustee Lambert, in her infinite wisdom, left out the fire department.
Sorry, Chief Lark.
Sorry, and I apologize profusely. But I did ask for an update. There's a blood drive at the police department coming up, and he
The
said,
18th.
yeah, get this though, most of the reservations are already almost full.
Wow.
Pretty big.
That's
Pretty big.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So that was kind of his update that I neglected to ask him for last night because I was all worked up about policing. Gosh, one day I'll get this right.
One day.
Probably not though.
Nah.
Anyways, that was it. So
That was it. So
Yep.
next up was building committee. There was nothing there. Transportation infrastructure was a change order for Western Slopes for the drainage project for the big dig.
Yeah.
And,
Which we haven't had rain since then. No, just kidding.
Right, of course.
We've had some, but
Are you taking the metro in DC?
maybe.
Is that your smart
You
card?
leaving?
Yeah.
Maybe.
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 Yeah, I like the metro. So we did the change order there from roughly 650,000 up to 900,000. Under other reports, there was nothing. No executive session. Nothing from the. I'm sorry. We do have the omnibus
Yeah.
vote list.
Yeah, how could you
I
forget
gotta
that?
flip the page
Oh,
over. Right.
boy, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So the omnibus. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness.
She's tooting.
I wonder if the microphone picked that
It's
up.
still coming.
Oh my goodness.
You okay? How's that belly? To be 18 months. Belly.
Belly. Yeah. Gassy.
Gassy. Just
All right. So in the omnibus vote list, we had some fall tree replacement. Our annual bill for the GIS Consortium membership, Avalon, the annual maintenance and utility billing for that, Pace Paratransit local share agreement for Dial-A-Ride, Thornton's gas station variances, and then some fuel purchasing from Al Warren Oil.
So Thornton's was on the omnibus because it had already been discussed.
And already been voted on and passed by the board.
Correct. So that's why it was in the omnibus. Omnibus. There we go. And
Yep.
I elected not to pull it, even though I voted no the last time because of what I said earlier. It becomes the will of the board. So
Got it.
off my soapbox.
All right. So that was it. There
was
was
it.
nothing from the village administrator, the clerk, or the
attorney.
attorney. No executive session. And
That was it.
that was it. Went home. Oh my goodness.
Kiki, do you have to go potty?
Stinky, stink.
Do you need to go potty? Potty.
Potty. Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't stink. Out of here. She's a baby. All right, so that was it.
That was
We
it.
did it. We wrapped up the year.
We wrapped up the year, and what a crazy year it's been.
Next year will be solitude, right?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Peace and solitude. And with that,
Have a good.
we
Bless
wish
you.
you a Merry Christmas
Yep.
and a Happy New Year.
Are you gonna sing?
No?
Kiki,
That was
can
it?
you dance to it?
Do you like to dance?
She does like to dance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe. All right, you guys, have a good Christmas. I hope everyone enjoys time with their friends and family. So.
Yep. I'll be at work. Well, I'm spending time with family too.
Okay, good.
All right. We'll see you next year.
Nice dad joke.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.